It's not burning, it's just a slight, you know, disco tingle. Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be sharing some of my favourite products from 4 of the best-selling beauty brands in the UK, and right at the end there's an interesting palette, so keep watching. In a surprise to absolutely no one, The Times this weekend cited Charlotte Tilbury as the highest earning UK person in the beauty world, and I'm here for it. I'll even tolerate the hyperbole of Charlotte Tilbury's marketing team of 99% of this and 80% of that and whatever. I'm here for the beauty, I'm not here for the maths. What do I care? It's fine. If statistics meets shimmery eyeshadow, then I'm here for it. Like a lot of people, there's a lot of products in the Charlotte Tilbury arsenal that I really enjoy, lesser or greater extent. I'm a real fan of the Magic Cream as a base for my mature dry skin. I think it's fantastic. I do hear a lot of moaning about it just being quite a basic cream, but I don't think it's that basic, frankly, because through the hardest winter months in the UK, it really sees my skin through, and I can wear as much makeup on top of it without my skin drying out. So I'm a real fan. But obviously it's the makeup that's the winner. You'll see here I'm wearing Eyes to Mesmerize, which I really like actually, in the rose gold. It's lovely and soft. It's certainly great on dry eyelids. It works really, really well. And then on top of that, for the first time actually in a while, I'm wearing Pillow Talk Dreams, which I really like. It's just so soft, but at the same time quite glamorous, nicely shimmery but not chunky in any way, and it blends really, really nicely. I like the Sun Kissed Glow bronzer. It's probably not my favourite, but I like the colour of it. I'm in medium. I do like the colour of it. I also quite like the packaging, which is very much that Scooby-Doo gets hypnotised effect, which I do quite like. I also like the eyeliner in the Eye Cheat, I think it's called. It's like a sort of a creamy colour to put inside the lid. Inside the rim of the eye, rather, I should say. And what I like about it is it's not got that Dulux brilliant whiteness, which just makes me look a bit startled. This is quite a natural creamy colour, which is really good. And then Exaggerize the mascara. I really love this mascara. I mean, I love everything about it, actually. I bought the first one when it came out. I bought it when it first came out, and I used it, really loved it. I finished it, and then the only reason I didn't buy another one is I got involved with the Black Hourglass mascara, which I really like and I've mentioned many times. I bought another one of these actually for the purposes of this video, so when you see me applying it, it's literally the first application, and that's a real compliment to it, because it's not a mascara that you have to wait for to sort of improve. It's just immediately smooth and thickening and lengthening. It's not clumpy, but it's just lovely. It's a really lovely fanning effect. I do generally like Charlotte Tilbury mascaras. There's lots of them that I've enjoyed over the years, all the new formulas, but I think this is probably my favourite because I don't have to wait for it to improve in the next sort of week or 10 days, something like that. But also I definitely get that real volume straight away the minute I'm sort of putting it on, even from the first coat. So I'm absolutely delighted with that, really. Then Pinkgasm, I like this. It's just a nice, soft, gentle highlighter. It's not the highlighter that you can see from the Moon, which I also sometimes favour as well. It's just much more gentle, more forgiving, really, and great on a mature skin. And I find I reach for it more and more in the sort of the winter months, when I want something a little bit more gentle if my skin's particularly dry and I don't want to emphasise any of the dryness. And then finally, lipsticks. What Charlotte Tilbury doesn't know about lipsticks probably isn't worth knowing. So this one is a new one to me, actually. It's 90s pink, which I really like. You can see me putting it on here. It's just that it is very much a 90s pink, I have to say. I really do remember wearing all of these colours. So that obviously predates the Charlotte Tilbury brand. I think at that point in the 90s, my favourite brands were sort of Lauder and Lancôme for these kinds of shades. But it's very much a sort of a cool, but not too cool, pinky brown. Really lovely, really glossy, just fantastic. I do love her makeup. There are 2 brands that I'll quickly talk about, which are skincare brands. And the first is the Enquiries. This is the cream that I absolutely love. This is what it looks like. It's just lovely. bioactive ceramide. So I'll tell you how I'm using this. I have only recently in the last few months started using retinol on my chest. I use it on my face and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I have started using it on my chest because I've got loads of hyperpigmentation because I've just been negligent and a very naughty girl. So as such, after I put the retinol on, I wanted a sort of a really rich and good cream, and I thought I would give this a go because I kept reading about it. I didn't believe it would be as good as it is. It's really good. Haven't used it on my face. I've just kept it on my chest. But let me just show you. It's white and a bit fluffy. It's not thick, but I would say it's substantial. That's what it looks like. It's sort of a substantial, rich cream, really. And I sort of put it on both hands, warm it on across both hands, and just sort of slather my chest on it. It goes straight in. It's not one of these really sticky creams, but it's definitely doing the job because my chest is particularly dry. And one of my sort of concerns was that because I'm using the retinol, it's going to get even drier, even though I'm using quite a weak, I'm using the lowest, the sort of the most entry-level retinol. However, I've not noticed any dryness at all or any tightness, and I'm now using the retinol between 4 and 5 times a week, 4 or 5 nights a week, I should say. And I put this on top. It's fantastic. As I said, I'm on my second jar. I really recommend it. It's really good. I've not tried it under makeup, and I've not tried it as a night cream. I suspect it would be fine for my face. I probably need something a bit richer, but this is really, really good and really very, very cost effective. It's no exaggeration to say that discovering Medicate has been the beauty revelation of my 50s. I've been using Medicate retinol since 2020. Basically, once we went into lockdown over COVID, one of my methods of escapism was to investigate retinol and how I was going to actually approach it, because I knew it was overdue and I should have really been using it and incorporating it as part of my skincare routine. I'd been put off because I'd heard stories about people and reading that it can dry the skin out and you need to somehow mitigate that, and the last thing that I needed was to either make my skin drier or to aggravate the eczema, so I was worried about that. The one that I ended up giving a go was Medicate. It comes in, their retinol comes in now, I'm reading now, comes in six strengths. I started what I thought was then the lowest, which was 3, but maybe they did do a lower one and I didn't see it. But anyway, I started on number 3 and I went through 3 tubes of that before moving on progressively onto each one. I'm now, and I've literally only just started it. This is 24. This is sort of strength 24. So the numbers, what the numbers correlate to is it depends on how much retinaldehyde is actually in the formula. I think it's a really good product. Not once have I felt, oh, my skin is tight and I really need to put whatever I put on top. I always put something on top, and typically it's either one of the sleeping masks like Sisley or Clinique do their overnight mask. There are several that I use, or I'll just put an oil on. I've used in the past, funnily enough, the Charlotte Tilbury one, which smells of lavender. So if you don't like lavender, don't try that. But I do like that. I do like that oil. But anyway, I put something on top of it, but it is absolutely brilliant. In fact, my skin has just improved year on year. As we know, with retinol, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But my skin has definitely improved over this 5-year period. My skin is better now and looks better, is smoother, less pigmentation, fewer fine lines, which I'm all too familiar with, above my lip, even sort of around crow's feet, fewer fine lines than I've had before. So this is fantastic. It's worth every penny. I find it a really gentle product. I don't find myself wanting to go onto the prescription versions of retinol at all. So this is great. I've used a lot of their products. I love their cleanser. They do a lovely oil cleanser that gets washed off, and you can even use it to remove eye makeup. And even with a full eye makeup, it will just remove it. Really, really good. The thing that I use every night is this, which is the Press and Glow, which is basically a chemical exfoliator, which I really like because it's so gentle. You're meant to use it morning and night. I only use it at night time, and then I put my retinol on top of it. But I find it really good. It definitely polishes my skin. Again, really gentle, doesn't dry it out. There is another one for a slightly oilier skin. Is that Press and Clear? I think is the one for an oilier skin. I've not used that, obviously. Once a week, as long as I remember, I don't use this, and instead I use this, which is an AHA, I think it's an AHA, yes, Sleep Glycolic it's called, and it's a time release AHA. I put that on after I've cleansed. I put this on all over, thin layer, all over my face, avoiding the eye area. For a few seconds, or maybe it's up to about 30 seconds, I get a real tingle. It's not burning, it's just a slight, you know, disco tingle around the face, and then it stops. And then I wait for about a minute, and then I put my retinol on. And that is a sort of like an overnight treatment, and you wake up, I wake up with the softest, smoothest skin. It's really lovely. And I always notice it because my foundation just goes on like a particular dream after I've done that the night before. It's really great. I think I've gone through 3 tubes of this. I think it's my 3rd. I've gone through an awful lot of these. I mean, I can't count. These are refillable, so you just buy the barrels. That's really good. And as I said, I've gone through loads of these because for each stage that I'm on the crystal retinol, I go through it. I sort of use, I think, at least 3 tubes before I move up to the next one. I'm very, very slow and very, very careful because I just don't want to aggravate my skin. As I said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But what a brand Medik8 is. I'm absolutely thrilled with it. Honestly, it really has been the revelation of this decade for me, because I don't think anybody else has done what they've done in that they've made a product that has such a dramatic effect on my skin without drying it out, without aggravating it, without causing any additional sensitivity. It's such a win. It's great, and it's a bit of a plus. I don't want to be too patriotic, but it's a bit of a plus that it's a UK brand that's not owned not been owned by one of the massive juggernauts. It's really great. I really recommend it if you've not looked at it as a brand. I should also add as a final thing that I'm using the Retinol 3 on my chest and then putting the Enquiries cream on top of it, and slowly the hyperpigmentation I can see is fading, but it is slow. It's a slow process and it's a long process, and I probably should have started it ages ago, but there we go. We do what we can when we remember. Again, I'm using it on my chest. It's a real testament to how much I trust the brand, really, because the skin here is just so fine and probably more sensitive than my face is, and it's been absolutely fine. And as I said, with this on top, it's getting the moisturization, so that's worth pointing out as well, that I'm sort of using the Medik8 in sort of two different places. And the final British brand is Vive, and to that end I'd like to show you this palette. Looks like this. It's called the 90s palette, which you may know, and if you did know, then why didn't you tell me? Because it's fantastic. Comes like this, would make a lovely gift. It's so pretty. £49, and it looks like this. Isn't that lovely? Cool toned hues, metallics, very pigmented mattes and shimmers, dusky purples, smoky greys, and the swatches look like this. It's very much a cool colour story, very much influenced by the 90s, which, by the way, very much my era, so it's like it was made for me. I really like it. Have another look. So basically it's described on the website as grunge meets glam. Now, I have looked at Vive's other eyeshadows over the last few months, and I wasn't attracted to any of them because they're all quite warm. Now, I've got nothing against a warm palette. I love warm palettes. It's just that recently I've bought a lot of warm palettes and I was really in the mood for something cool. Then I sort of saw this, couldn't get it, wasn't available in stock, finally got it from Sephora. I think it's lovely. The quality is so soft. It's made in Italy, and just as a by the by, I'm not saying one's better than the other. I just want to show you the disparity, or rather the contrast, because the size of this palette is so generous. Here's the recent Charlotte Tilbury, just so you can see the comparison of the sizes there. Incredible. So in other words, what it's allowed for is for us to have a favourite shade and to use repeatedly, either as just a one and done, or just to generally just favour that for something on the lid or something like that. And we're never going to run out of it. It's just so practical. And as I said, £49, that's a really, really good price point. So as you can see here, I'm enjoying wearing the colours. I am attracted to a cool palette generally. I am, even though sort of warm palettes on my skin tone there seems to be more of an affinity, and they're easier to wear. However, I like a cool toned palette because I just feel it feels a bit more sophisticated. It can also, that muted tone for me can be absolutely lovely. Now, you, like me, may have bought the Hydra Icy Nudes palette, which came out at the back end of last year. I bought it and I was really disappointed. I was surprised quite how disappointed I was because, as I've said, I've always known I've loved greys. Greys are something that I found really easy to wear. I didn't think the quality was great on this one. So I would just like to, just as a comparison, show you how they compare together. You can see there is some similarities there. We don't have the glittery, shimmery shades that Hydra gives us, but frankly that's one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy this palette, because the glitters were just too crumbly and harsh, and it just felt like it was an experiment on exfoliating my eyelids. I didn't appreciate it, even though I do like her mattes. I mean, her mattes I just think she does very well. But as I said, if you didn't like Hydras, you may well like this, and it's probably worth having a look. And if you're available, if it's possible for you to be in store and swatch, then have a look. I think it's great. I think it's a really lovely palette, and I'm really pleased I got it. Now, at the same time, I bought something that I had actually fiddled about with in Space NK, so I really did know what I was getting, and that's the liquid liner. I got it in brown because I like a brown liquid liner. Now, I've hardly used liquid liner actually recently, because I either, as I've said before, use eyeshadow as a smudge a nice line, or I use either a MAC or a Bobbi Brown paint pot and use that as a liner. But what I like about this is, certainly for train journeys and traveling, it means that it's only one item instead of two. So that's the brown. It's a soft brown. It's not a very, can you see it there? Hang on. Tell you what, let me put it here. There we go. That's what it looks like. It's a nice brown. It's not too dark, and also the brush bit itself is very much a fine point, so it's very easy just to sort of line my sort of, not so much smush it in the eyelashes, but to get very close to the eyelashes and not have too thick a line, because these days it just doesn't suit me. It's not flattering. It's not a fresh look for me, at any rate. So that is Vive. It's probably worth you considering. Have another look, and as I said, my hope is that more cool tone palettes will come out of this brand, because there are only 3 big ones and 2 of them, as I said, are warm. So my hope is that we'll get more cool toned ones. Let's see. So there we have it. 4 beauty brands putting the UK on the beauty map. That was a tongue twister. Anyway, I hope that was interesting. Please subscribe and do give me a thumbs up, and do let me know, have you used any of these brands and what do you like? Because there's a whole world out there that I don't know about, and I would love to hear what your suggestions are and what you're using. So many thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.